Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Mount Olive Township Council meeting and workshop for the April 30th, 2019. If you would please stand for a pledge of allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence for all those men and women that serve us and paid the ultimate price.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do we have Open Public Meetings Act, please, Michelle?
According to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Daily Record. Notice has been posted in the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, and notices were sent to those requesting the same.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda.
Here.
Mr. Ferrante.
Here.
Mrs. Labau. Mr. Mania.
Here.
Mr. Stewart. Mr. Roman.
Here.
Mr. Nicastro.
Here. And just for the record, if you see me get up at 7:15 to leave, I have an event I have to get to, so I will be leaving in about 15, 20 minutes, just so you know. First item is a presentation to the Mount Olive Economic Development Committee. Mr. Mayor?
Sure, thank you. As we all know, attracting business to the township is an extremely difficult task for a number of different reasons. Number one, where we're located, about 60 miles from New York City. It is not the most advantageous location for attracting large corporations to town. And just like every other municipality, filling open commercial spaces is also very difficult because we're not the property owner, and basically businesses go where they want to go. We can reach out and try and attract business, but ultimately those decisions are made by other people. Notwithstanding, we have a group of people in this township that continue to strive to do the impossible, and that's to fill the open spaces and attract businesses to town. And they have done so very successfully. Most recently, we, as a township, were presented with an award by the Morris County Economic Development Committee. And in large part, this award and the recognition from the state legislature, of which I have both here, are due in large part to the work, the tireless work, of the Economic Development Committee of Mount Olive Township. So after we received these awards, we thought that it was time to recognize the people who work very hard for the township and get little to no recognition for the work that they do. Among the achievements of the Mount Olive Economic Development Committee, interaction with brokers and property owners, coordinating a direct avenue to our administration, initiating meetings with myself, corporate heads, to address any township-oriented concerns, expansion plans, downsizing, closing, and relocating elsewhere, workforce development, participation in the discussions, and ultimately in the retention of Siemens and expansion of Siemens. The exercise of the 2014 Urban Land Institute related to the BASF property. They've developed independent economic development website, linking it to the township's website. Development of suggested community enhancing projects for future consideration. They've collaborated with Mount Olive High School Business Department student project on alternative usage of the BASF facility. That was in 2014. They've partnered with the Mount Olive Area Chamber of Commerce and the Morris County EDC to address common concerns. They've partnered with the Morris County EDC on business retention and expansion. And they are the recipient, as I said, with the township of the Morris County Economic Development Corporation's 2019 Partners in Economic Development Award. At this point, I would say that Jeff Stadelman has worked diligently on behalf of the town. Jeff, if you want to come up, I have a certificate for you recognizing your efforts and thanking you for the tireless work that you do and continue to do, notwithstanding the fact that your situation has changed in town. You remain steadfast to the township, and I know that you actually love the town. So congratulations. I don't know if you wanted to say a few words.
No, I know you're short on term, but we bring this award because it's you people that have supported us over the years, and it's really your award.
Thank you. I'd also like to recognize a few other members. John Kavanaugh, we have an award. It'll look good on your wall, all framed. I'll be over next week to see where you've put it in your house. Thank you very much for your time and your effort, and on many fronts, too. Thank you. Yep. Tracy? Thank you so much for everything that you do. If you would just stand next to us, we'll do a picture. Thanks. And John Batch. Okay. I have two others. I have John Maney and Joe Nicastro. If you want to come up and join us. And before we take the picture, I mean, it goes well beyond just the Economic Development Committee. All of these individuals have been involved in any number of different committees, beautification of the town, and I think the love for Mount Olive, if I had to say, it's the common link amongst all the people that are standing up here, that they will give of their time to make Mount Olive a better place to live for all of us. So on behalf of the township, on behalf of the governing body, I thank you all for the many years of service that you've given to Mount Olive, both on the EDC and on all of the other committees that you've served. You Joe or John? You want to take a picture? You want to do it front? Oh, we got a shift.
We're all trying to break it out.
You want to hold the award, Mayor? Why don't you hold this?
There we go.
Rob, why don't you hold this?
Yeah, you want to give me the state assembly also? Of course, this stuff goes in my office.
There's no room in his office. Right?
Yeah, where?
There's no room, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you very
Start
much.
hanging things from the ceiling.
Because it's at least on like room instructions.
No.
Nothing knocked down on the wall.
Right?
My roof's just gonna get smaller.
I didn't even know you still had an office.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. Good job to all of you guys. Appreciate all the efforts. Next item is discussion is the open space acquisition. Andrew?
We need to discuss this in closed session because
Okay.
it's a potential land acquisition.
Okay, should we do it now or later? At the end?
It's up to you. Doesn't matter to me. There's nothing that we need to vote on the agenda,
Okay.
so it's,
Why don't we do it at the end then?
We can do it at the end.
Don't
Then we
make
can let them,
everyone-
yeah, this way we'll go. All right. So we have 13 resolutions. Does anyone have any questions, concerns, comments on resolutions?
Nope.
Seeing none, do we have any old business? Seeing none, do we have any new business? Seeing none, anyone from the public wish to be heard at this time? Seeing none, close to the public. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? I will open the Mount Olive Township Council meeting for April 30th, 2019. Michelle, would you read the Open Public Meetings Act, please?
According to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Daily Record. Notice has been posted in the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, and notices were sent to those requesting the same.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda.
Here.
Mr. Ferrante.
Here.
Mrs. Labow. Mr. Mania.
Here.
Mr. Stewart. Mr. Roman.
Here.
Mr. Nacastro.
Here. Thank you. Mr. Amianda, would you approve the minutes and from the workshop and public meeting from April 16th, 2019?
Yes, Mr. President. I make a motion for approval of minutes of previous meetings on April 16, 2019, work session and public meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrante?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Abstain. We have 14 pieces of correspondence. Does anyone have any questions on those? Seeing none, we have no ordinances for first or second reading. Mr. Ferrante, would you move consent resolutions 1 through, does anyone wish to move any consent resolutions to non-consent? Seeing none, Mr. Ferrante, would you move resolutions 1 through 13?
Sure, I make a motion to move resolutions 1 through 13.
Second.
Does anyone from the public have any questions or concerns? Seeing none, close to anyone from council. Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrante?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Abstain on, forgive me, abstain on 1, yes on 2 through 13.
Okay. Mr. Nacastro?
Yes. Mr. Roman, would you move the bill list, please?
I move for adoption the bill list.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone from the public? Close to the public. Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrante?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes. We have one appointment from council for Ethics Committee, Lou Candora, a 5-year unexpired term, which expires on 12/31/2023. Do we have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Or,
He still lives in town?
oh, I was going to say,
Does he? I didn't know.
do we have a second?
All right.
Any discussion?
Who made the motion?
Alex? John and
John,
Alex.
John moved it, I seconded.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrante?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes. Administrative reports.
Real quick, yesterday, baseball had their opening night on the brand-new fields. It was really a tremendous evening. The fields looked great. If you haven't been up there, I suggest you go and take a look at them because you're going to be absolutely shocked. And my understanding is that it has completely resolved the drainage issue that we were having on those three fields.
It was beautiful.
It was also very moving because Gene Brzezinski was recognized and the loss of Gene Brzezinski. And we are contemplating right now a manner in which we are going to recognize Gene's contributions on behalf of the township. And it's likely going to be some kind of dedication up at Turkey Brook Park, whether it's just a monument or a field naming after Gene. But he certainly will always be in our hearts and our memories for just being a great guy and a honorary citizen of the township of Mount Olive. Besides that, this weekend, Saturday, we had the Bubble Palooza, which I understand was a huge success. Friday, May 3rd at 11 o'clock, Firestone will have their official grand opening. It's on Route 46, close to the Netcong border. There will be a few check presentations for the Boys and Girls Club and the Unity Tour and Mount Olive Recreation. So if you're able to attend, it's Friday, May 3rd at 11 o'clock. And lastly, Coffee with the Cop is Saturday, May 11th, from 9 to 11 at Mount Olive Bagels. That's all I have.
Mount Olive Bagels, thank you. Anything? Okay, seeing none, any old business? Seeing none, any new business? Seeing none, any legal matters?
Nothing tonight, thank you, Mr. President.
Council reports, anything from Board of Ed or seniors, Mr. Amianda?
Yes, Mr. President. Board of Education held its regular meeting on April 30th, which was yesterday, 2019, at Administration Building, 6:30 p.m. After opening activities and mission statement, the floor was open for reports and discussion. Members of the community were allowed to make comments on any action prior to board discussion. The board approved the April harassment, intimidation, and bullying report. Mount Olive High School is one of the best high schools in the nation and earned a silver Maynard. Mr. Robert Zuski, Superintendent of Schools, introduced new staff and administrators. The board took actions on personnel, curriculum, and instruction business action items. The board praised first aid respondents for the remarkable job they make to Mount Olive residents during emergencies. The board then adjourned to the closed session at 8 p.m. Mount Olive senior citizens did not meet.
Thank you, Mr. Amianda. Mr. Ferranti, anything on environmental lake or library?
Yeah, just the township well testing will take place on May 18th. And a couple of notes from the library board meeting from April 9th. April 6th, they held a donation day, and they accepted over 1,000 books. And the library also, along with your library card, you could participate in movie streaming via the Canopy app.
Interesting.
Yep.
Thank you. Mr. Maney, anything on legislative or planning?
No.
Mr. Roman, anything on recreation or pride?
Nothing to report.
Does anyone from the public wish to be heard at this time? Seeing none, Mr. Mania, would you take us, we have to go into an executive session.
So we do not expect to take action.
We don't expect to take any action on anything, it's just an executive session, so we'll go into executive session now, and then when we come back, we'll adjourn.
According to Section 7 and 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, I make a motion, we move into executive session to discuss personnel matters, noting that the minutes will be available.
Second.
All in favor?
Did you say personnel?
Not personnel.
matters? Wait, say that
I'm
again.
sorry,
It's for land acquisition.
Land acquisition.
Land acquisition.
land acquisition.
Yes, we'll correct that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Everyone would please come out of executive.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I will reopen the Mount Olive Township Council meeting for April 30th, 2019. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Oh, council comments, Mr. Amianda?
Yes, I had something to say. Let me see if I find it.
So we'll move on. Mr. Ferranti, do you have any council comments?
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Maney, do you have any council comments?
Nothing.
Okay. Mr. Amianda, we're back to you.
Yes, I have two comments or three comments. Okay, my sympathy goes to the victims of the shooting in San Diego, California on Saturday, April 27, 2019, that left one person dead and two people wounded. I think that the shooting of innocent people must stop. That's my comment on that. And also on Mr. Eugene Buzinski, town engineer, passing away on April 17, 2019, was a big loss. And those are my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Amianda. And I too want to share the sentiment of the passing of Mr. Brzezinski. He's definitely a huge loss to the township. And also, I too share your same sentiment that these hateful acts that are occurred, just attacks just based on another person's religion, needs to stop, and we all need to make sure that we recognize that we all one race and one human race, and we're all here for the advancement of our families and our community. And with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Meeting adjourned.